So Rockstar once again, for whatever reason, decided to nerf the Cayo Perico Heist in GTA Online, and this one's actually probably one of the worst nerfs that we ever seen for this heist. So we've seen obviously some in the past before, but they honestly weren't too bad. Rockstar kind of just made it so that it was a little bit harder to complete the heist, as well as just like some of the cooldowns and stuff were changed up when it came to repeating it. So it really wasn't the worst, but now with these big changes, this may not even be considered as one of the best ways to make money in GTA Online anymore. So for whatever reason, Rockstar, with the new event week update that came out yesterday, just decided to randomly mention that they were going to be doing some changes that kind of continued with the recent DLC update that we had, which was the San Andreas Mercenaries. Pretty much throughout the past 2 years, Rockstar has kind of focused on like adding little cool changes and quality of life stuff, and some we don't like, obviously others that are okay, but this is obviously one of those things that we don't like whatsoever. So let's take a quick look at what they said on Newswire. So they said, we have also made some GTA money payout changes to the setup costs and finale payouts for the Cayo Perico Heist. Payouts for Madrasa files and the pink diamond will remain the same, as will payouts for gold as a secondary target. Payouts for other primary and secondary targets have been reduced as well. And they also did make some changes when it comes to the assault and Cayo Perico adversary mode that really nobody plays, but it's going to be basically double money permanently and just some other small changes. But I don't think people really focus on that really that much at all. But overall, let's get into the big stuff when it comes to the Cayo Perico Heist. So this graph or this chart was made by Test2 over on Twitter. I'll leave a link in the description. You guys want to check it out yourself. And it basically gives a full big breakdown of what was really changed when it comes to the Cayo Perico Heist. So let's take a look over here on the old value side when it comes to tequila. So the old value was 900,000. Now you only get $630,000. For the ruby necklace, before it was $1 million. Now you get $700,000. For beer bonds, it was 1,100,000, and now you get $770,000. But then coming down to like the secondary kind of stuff, which is like the safe cash that you can get in the office. Usually you get around 50 to 99,000. Now it's 20 to 99,000. So you still have a chance, but it's not gonna be as high as before. Usually I think most people get like 80,000 out of it. And then this is probably one of the dumbest changes I've ever seen. But the fact is that when it comes to the setup fee, now you actually got to pay $100,000 instead of the 25,000 before, which was I think a fair price. So it's just kind of dumb, because you would think like, okay, players are gonna be making less money now from the heist, so maybe the setup fee should be lowered, or maybe even just stay the same. But Rockstar actually made it go up by a 300% increase, which is crazy. And then when it comes to the primary targets, that's a 30% decrease. There's never really been a huge decrease like that when it comes to these targets, and a 60% decrease in the minimum value for the safe cash. So I did play the heist after this change, so I'll be talking about that a little bit more after the secondary targets. But basically for secondary targets, it's slightly changed, not that much. It's just a 10% decrease. So for cash, it's around like 87,000 to 92,000. Now you get around like 78,000 to 83,000. And then going down to artwork, 175 to 200,000. Now it's 157 to 180,000. For grass, we have 145 to 150. Now it's 130 to 135. For coke, we had 220 for 225. Now we have 198 to 202. And for gold, it actually stayed the same. But again, when it comes to the rates though, Rockstar actually changed it as well. So it said that Rockstar lowered the RNG transfer rate for coke from 40 to 30% all locations, and then Rockstar increased the RNG transfer rate for cocaine and select secondary target sites that require 2 players to 60%, while lowering the chance rate of cash from 80 to 40% in the same location. So basically you have a higher chance of getting secondary targets if you end up playing with more people, which is obviously the best thing to do when it comes to Cayo Perico Heist. Ever since I think it was the Criminal Enterprises, they made it so that you get more money if you play with more people, and also the cooldown is lower as well when you play with 2 to 4 people. So it's actually way better if you play with other people, and that's a huge thing to realize, and it's honestly just more fun too as well. So that's something that Rockstar kind of made it. So the other stuff, the other nerfs and stuff is still there. You gotta wait 2 hours and 24 minutes before you can do the heist again, just the old changes. But this is just added on top of that. So taking a look really at the heist that I did after the update, it's not the craziest change. I mean, you're obviously making a lot less money, but Rockstar nerfed it to the point where it's you're making barely anything, and it's better to do an MC business sale. But it definitely is lowered by a lot, which kind of sucks. So for me, I actually had the tequila, so again you get $630,000 for that, but I also did end up getting some secondary targets as well. So what I did get was artwork in the office. Well, first of all, let me look at the safe cash. The safe cash I got 80,000, which is around the usual rate I think most people usually get. So that's not bad. I got 85,000. But then I ended up getting an artwork inside the office as well, which definitely increased it to a lot. You know, got a total pretty much of like, you know, up to 200,000, a little bit from that. And then also, you know, I got the tequila, and then also for some more secondary targets I did end up getting coke. But again, that's just kind of a chance thing. You know, obviously this is decent. This is something that, you know, I wish I can get like on every heist, like, you know, coke and artwork and stuff, and just, you know, be able to get a full bag solo. But, you know, this is not something that happens commonly. Sometimes, you know, you won't even get that much money from the safe. Especially now with the changes, you know, you might not even get artwork inside of the you know, office anymore. And over at secondary targets, it may not even be coke. It might just be, you know, cash now, or just, you know, grass. You know, it's not going to be that much money, but I mean, it's something. But I think at the end of the day, if you focus on, you know, getting a full bag, you're going to get a decent amount of money. I think the lowest you could probably get, you know, by completing, you know, the heist with, you know, tequila, which obviously pays the least, and getting secondary targets solo, the lowest is probably like 900,000. It just depends on what you do, and of course, you know, the elite challenge as well. So I mean, you're making less money. I think most people probably made around like, you know, 1.3 to 1.4 million before, so now you're making like maybe a little bit less than $1 million, but you also have to factor in the fact that the setup cost is more money, so you're really making less than that. So for me, like, if you really do all the calculations and stuff like that, you know, it took me around like 30 minutes to do the preps, and I got $1 million out of it at the end. So to be exact, 1,004,000. But if you minus 100,000, you know, that's go down to 900K, because obviously it gets you know, the setup cost. And then just, you know, if you want to factor in some other stuff as well, for ammo that I'll buy later, then yeah. But it took me around 13 minutes to do it. You know, obviously just faster times and stuff. It's been a minute since I played it, but overall, like, you're making, like, I would say, I guess $200,000 to $300,000, kind of less, just depending on you. But it's just more better if you just do it with other people, and you guys will probably get at least like $1 million each if you do it, you know, duo, and not just like, you know, with a squad and stuff. Because if it's 4 people, you're gonna make less than that. So overall, it's a huge change. It's a huge decrease, and it's weird that Rockstar decided to do it randomly during the 10th anniversary. You would think, like, you know, this game is, you know, 10 years old, and Rockstar, you know, has had the Cayo Perico Heist in the game for almost 3 years now at this point. You would think Rockstar wouldn't really care that much. You know, GTA 6 is eventually coming out soon, and I think that, you know, if they just had some better feature and great changes that people would like, then, you know, the game would, you know, continuously, you know, do well. And it's like, it's kind of like a bit of a gift or reward to players that have been here for so long, that you could just kind of have fun and do what you gotta do. I'm not saying Rockstar should, you know, make it so that you're making millions of dollars, you know, crazily just by off of doing nothing, but just make it like, you know, less strict and just more chill, because it's like the game's already almost at its end cycle in a way. So it's like, there's nothing that, you know, really has to focus on doing. So either way, when it comes to make money now, the Cayo Perico Heist is still a good way, and I don't think that, you know, the Cayo Perico Heist is fully dead. Some people might see it like that, but I don't think it is fully dead. Honestly, I thought it was a lot worse. But really playing through it and seeing that you're able to get at least a decent amount of money, at least close to $1 million, I think that's pretty good. But I could say for sure though, when it comes to some of the other heists, you know, maybe the Diamond Casino heist could also play a factor into this. I mean, you can't do it solo, but you definitely can get a decent amount of money from it, a little bit more than Cayo Perico at times for sure. But either way, you know, it's not that bad. And other heists, like, you know, the Doomsday, and, you know, we have the original heist. I mean, they're not gonna make you that much money. Doomsday's kind of up there, but again, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of preps and stuff, and some people don't really like it either, including myself. So it's like, you know, it's a lot. But you know, I think like when it comes to Cayo Perico, if you factor in some other stuff like, you know, nightclub and like crates and stuff, it's gonna just increase your value. So it's still a good way to make money in GTA regardless, and hopefully Rockstar doesn't try to nerf this again, because this is like the 3rd or 4th time that they kind of done this, and I don't really see a point in Rockstar wasting their time with this. Now I do want to mention, there's probably some people out there that probably say, like, you know, it's really good that Rockstar decides to do this because people only do Cayo Perico, and, you know, there's some people out there that really do think that Rockstar should kind of focus on making players go back to the original roots, where you kind of do other things around in the world. Because, you know, back in the day in GTA Online, you don't really only do one heist. You know, people do that now, but before, you know, like the Cayo Perico heist, and even, you know, the casino heist came out, a lot of people did other things. Like, you would do MC businesses, and you would do crates, and you would do bunker and hangar, and you would just kind of have like a cycle and just like a path that you would take to, like, you know, make sure you do all these businesses to maximize your profits. But once Cayo Perico came out, people kind of only focused on that, and some people kind of hated that, because now people will just straight up do preps and just not even really enjoy free mode, you know, that much. It's just straight preps and free mode, and then after that, just, you know, going straight to the heist. So I think it's a good change. I think it's gonna make people want to, you know, experience some other stuff. But again, you know, this is just something that I don't know why Rockstar really fully decided to do. But I'll probably have a guide out soon Eventually that just kind of breaks down the Cayo Perico Heist, how to do it, you know, quickly and efficiently, the amount of money and all that. So if you guys want to take a look at that, definitely go ahead. But I definitely just wanted to touch on this video to let you guys know the changes that Rockstar made, and if, you know, Cayo Perico is still a good way to make money, which I think it still is. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, what you guys think. If you guys did enjoy or found this helpful, drop a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe, on the post notifications, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.